All right, guys, so the backslide continues. Every day we wake up, we're like a decade further in the past in terms of our evolution as humans. Okay, so listen to this. This is in ABC News. Louisiana Health Department says it will stop promoting mass vaccination. Here's what that could mean. So they say in a surprising announcement, Louisiana Surgeon General announced late Thursday that the state health department will no longer promote mass vaccination. In a memo to staff members, Dr. Ralph Abraham described vaccines as one tool in a toolbox to combat severe illness, and that conversations about specific vaccines are best held between an individual and their healthcare provider. It comes on the heels of RFK Jr.'s confirmation to lead the Department of Health and Human Services under President Donald Trump. Kennedy has spread unfounded claims about vaccines, you don't say, including that they cause autism and that certain vaccines are dangerous. Dr. Gregory Polland, a vaccinologist and co-director of the Atria Research Institute, which focuses on disease prevention, described the policy change as anti-science and said there is good public health research data to support mass vaccination. Quote, I've grown up in an era where other than smallpox, DPT, and flu vaccine, I think as diphtheria, we didn't have any of the vaccines we had today. And so we or friends of ours got infected, got sick, missed school, some developing polio, he told ABC. I mean, it's just shocking to think we would take such a critical public health tool and deconstruct it or invalidate it. I can't believe it. They continue here. Dr. Paul Offit, director of the Vaccine Education Center and an attending physician in the Division of Infectious Diseases at Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, said not promoting vaccinations could lead to increased hospitalizations and deaths, especially if an outbreak of an incredibly contagious disease such as measles emerges. Well, by the way, we do have a measles outbreak. We have a measles outbreak right now in West Texas. Quote, on its surface, it makes no sense, Offit told ABC. If there was an outbreak of measles, for example, and it started to sweep through the state, would you then say, no, you can do what you want. If you want to get a vaccine, fine. If you don't, that's fine. Knowing that there are people in the state of Louisiana who can't be vaccinated, knowing that they depend on those around them to protect them. Offit said that the change in vaccine promotion in Louisiana appears to be endorsing the idea of medical freedom and individual freedom over collective responsibility, which is, quote, dangerous. He explained that vaccines don't just protect the individual, they protect the community by creating herd immunity, in which enough of a community is vaccinated, making it harder for a disease to spread. This also protects those who can't get vaccinated due to health reasons. Quote, this sort of medical freedom notion that you do what you want, the rest of society doesn't count, your neighbor doesn't count, is at best short-sighted and at worst sort of absents you from any sort of societal responsibility. Never in my life did I think we would get to a point where even in conservative states, you would have the health department say, we're not going to promote mass vaccination anymore. And the reason I thought I'd never see this is because for all of their flaws, the respective state health departments in all these different states, the science is the science, the research is the research, the facts are the facts. And even in conservative states, it's like, look, yeah, you do have a right to decide whether or not you want to take the vaccine. That's true. But we need to give you all of the information so you can make an informed decision. And if you give people all of the information, it would be like, hey man, highly recommend you take the vaccines, right? Like it would not, there'd be no ambiguity about it whatsoever. Because the fact of the matter is, all of the anti-science, anti-vax cranks out there, they literally don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They go read some like factually incorrect claim from some blog that was posted in 2006 from some fake doctor who actually is a chiropractic doctor. And they act like it's real. They act like that can hold a candle to the fucking double-blind placebo-controlled studies on these things that we know are helpful, right? And so it's just, like I said, rolling that clock back, baby. That's what we're doing. We are rolling that clock back. Now, by the way, while we're on the conversation here, so they're going to stop promoting mass vaccination in Louisiana. That means you probably won't reach herd immunity. That means you probably will have outbreaks of these viruses that really shouldn't even be a problem anymore. That it should be gone, right? All right, here we go. Ready? West Texas measles outbreak doubles to 48 cases. Evan says, how do anti-vaxxers explain why all the infected kids are unvaccinated? They don't. They don't bother to try. They'll just move from one bogus claim to another bogus claim to another bogus claim. And every time you catch up and try to fact check one of those claims and you say something that's true, they've already moved on. They're like 4 claims ahead of you already, spreading some new bullshit. That's how they function, right? And remember, these the same people who are anti-vaccine are the same people who insist that like raw milk is healthier than pasteurized milk, even though pasteurized milk just literally burns off the diseases and the germs and the viruses. Like, that's all pasteurization is. It burns off all the shit that can get you sick, right? Raw milk is like, what, you're going to suck it right out of the fucking cow's udder and you think that's better for you than if you just boil the milk to make sure it kills all the pathogens? Like, what are you, insane? But that's who this is. A lot of these people believe in this idea, this naturalism fallacy, right? Like, excuse me, I only put things in my body that are natural, okay? And it's like, how do you not see the flaw in that logic, bro? You know what's natural? Anthrax is natural. Anthrax happens when a dead animal is decaying, it creates anthrax. That's natural. It's also natural when you take a fucking massive shit. Should you eat it because it's natural? Hey, it's a natural thing. Totally natural. But does that mean you should eat it? Does that mean you should ingest it? No. Turns out some things that are natural are bad for you, and some things that are unnatural, like a vaccine created in a lab, is good for you because it gives you the immunity to the illness that would otherwise make you very fucking sick, right? The fact that we have to explain some basic ass shit, and this, by the way, this is all RFK, all his nonsense, of naturalism fallacy, all that nonsense. This is what he does. This is who he is. He's still on the fucking vaccines cause autism train, which has been debunked since like literally the late 1990s. The guy who made the claim, Dr. Andrew Wakefield, lost his medical license and had that study retracted for being wrong. And they're still claiming, they claimed there was a preservative in the vaccine, which was the specific ingredient that was giving kids autism. And so the pharma companies in response to that said, well, you're wrong, but if it'll ease your fears, fine, we'll remove that particular preservative. Then immediately after that, the vaccines cause autism people went, okay, I think it's a different ingredient that causes autism. It's like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? And this misinformation and junk science and made up bullshit has an effect. Now we have a fucking state health department which has gone full anti-vax, and they're not going to promote mass vaccination anymore. Well, this is how you have the crumbling of a health system in a country, right? Is like, if people stop reminding everybody of the truth that these vaccines are very helpful, prevent illness, certainly prevent severe illness. You know, if people don't hear that all the time and that's not reinforced, and people just think, oh, it's just a matter of like personal choice here, should I protect myself or not? It's like, well, once you dip below that herd immunity number, well, then we're off to the races. And we're already seeing a resurgence of measles. We're seeing a resurgence of tuberculosis. Right now, influenza A is ripping through the country, and you have a lot of states that their hospitals are already being overwhelmed. Never mind a potential in the future new COVID thing. Never mind avian flu, which is ripping through bird communities, and birds are having to be culled left and right throughout this country. You got all that going on. The CDC is now banned from communicating with the World Health Organization. Donald Trump and Elon Musk are taking a fucking sledgehammer to all of our federal health agencies. And now at the same time, the red states are hopping on board too. We are dumbing down this country at a legendary clip, dog. We are dumbing us down at a legendary clip. And, I mean, you already feel it now, right? You literally can't even, God bless you if you try to argue with somebody online about vaccines. Because, like, most of the people online who talk about this issue are so fucking obsessed from an anti-vaccine perspective, and they're familiar with all the bullshit fake science. And, like, just God bless you if you try to set the record straight and you try to say that's not true and here's why. Like, it's like climbing fucking Mount Everest to have to deal with these people on a daily basis. And that is the dominant strain of thought online. And that has now spread into the real world. When you have a health department of a state saying we're not going to promote mass vaccination, it's like, shit, you might as well go to the lab, grab some fucking measles or some TB or whatever, and just release it on the public right now, right? Like, might as well just give it to them already, because this is the path we're going down, and this is where we're going to end up, because people are refusing to tell the fucking truth. And that's the part of this I can never forgive. It's not like the doctors and the experts at the Louisiana Health Department. It's like they don't know that vaccines work. It's not like they don't know that. So, like, what we're doing here is we're just censoring the truth. We're saying you can't tell people the truth about vaccines. And I can't forgive that. because it's caving to a political ideology over, we're just going to tell you the reality. And that's weak fucking beta cuck bullshit right there. Like, no, tell people the truth and hope that it leads them to make the right decisions and hope that that makes it so you don't have an outbreak of this stuff. By the way, final point, Mitch McConnell had polio as a kid. I believe he was the only Republican to vote against RFK Jr. It's wild that that's where we are, where Mitch McConnell is the sole voice of reason in the Republican Party. But here we are. All right, guys. That is the show. I love you all very much. You know the drill. Everybody, please click like, click subscribe, all that fun stuff. Click that bell icon so you get a notification every single time a video drops. Thank you to everybody who supports this show on Patreon. I can't do it without you. Please consider helping out if you can. It's right below the link, and it's $5 a month. Some people give $2 a month. Some people give $7 a month. But it really makes this show run because I've never had a conversation with an advertiser, never do any ad reads or any silly stuff like that. So thanks again, guys. I love you to death. I appreciate you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Peace. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.